Alright, now we got some exciting news for you today. Just a few hours ago, Apple has released a new version of the App Store, and so you're going to be able to see that live starting right now. So by the time you're reading this article and watching this video, you'll be able to go online, go into iTunes and see the new App Store in action. But here we're going to point out a couple of the differences in this video so that you can see them right away. First I want to point out, I'm going to bring up a version of the old App Store here. So here you can see this is the infamous Before You Score amped app that later got discontinued and banned. However, we can look at the old design here by viewing this. So as you can see here, we've got the biggest difference we're going to notice between this version and the next version, the new version, is the description and the screenshots. You can see the description starts right here and goes all the way down this side. You can see there's a scroll bar, and we have to scroll to see the entire description. Now every app was like this. We had to scroll to see these huge long descriptions as developers tried to squish as much descriptional information into their app page as they can. And so it was really good to have lots of information about the app, but it wasn't very appeasing to the eye, and it was really cluttered over there on the side with all that text. And now description, you're going to see in just a second, has become only a few lines, and we can click more to read more, but otherwise most of it's hidden. What they've increased is this stuff up here. All this information is now much easier to see. They've taken this, the Get App button is now much bigger, we're going to see, and then so is the icon here, and most importantly the screenshots. And so here we look at the screenshots, and we have this small version of the screen here, and we look at the new one, we're going to see nice, large, big images that we can compare much more readily. And it's also going to load them all at the same time in a scroll format. Whereas this is a bad example because it only has one image here. But if you guys have if you've worked in the App Store before, you've used the App Store, then you know that there's normally the little dots up here. And we click arrows to load the next image. Now this takes time. I don't know what Apple's doing behind the scenes here, but for some reason these little images seem to take forever to load. And part of it I think is running because it runs in iTunes. And so now that's also been changed, and we're going to see that in about 2 seconds here. Last thing was we look at this, I want to point out, notice where the customer ratings are and the reviews. Notice the reviews are off the page here, and the ratings are barely on the page. They've now pushed this and up here on the side, so it's right below all this information, so we can see at a glance all of the customer ratings and reviews. Alright, so now let's go ahead and we're going to look at the new version of the App Store live. Alright, so I'm going to come down here, open up iTunes. And here we go. We're looking at Equilibrio. This is free right now at the App Event Calendar promotion. So if you are into that, then I recommend you download it. Great app. And this here is the new interface for the App Store. You can see we have the same basic navigational interface here, but notice a much bigger icon has been added here. Makes it a lot more appeasing to the eye and makes it almost pop out. I really love this button here. This button is so huge, it's just begging for me to press it. And then you can also see, as we click the drop-down menu, all of these have been enhanced as well, much bigger and much easier to read. As well, the description is much bigger and easier to read as well. You can see there's only 2 lines of information here, and we can click more to read more information. This is where it pulls up all that descriptional information we had before, and when we're ready to read it, we can read it, but otherwise we don't have to worry about it, and that's what I enjoy the most. Now, one problem I see here with this store is that so far there's not a way to close that back up once we click it. And so then we kind of in this messed up little world. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to refresh real quick, and we're going to come back into this. Alright, so here I've refreshed. Unfortunately, Apple needs to find a way to add a less button, so once you pull open all that information you can close it again. So before you make sure when you're reading the description that's the last thing you're going to do on this page, because once it's open, it's open. Here we can see right at a glance also what's new in this version. So it's right there. As your eye follows a page, it always makes this X pattern. And so you can see the first thing we see is the icon. We see what's new, and then the screenshots. Then your eye always scrolls across the bottom and then back up. And Apple's followed this pattern very well, as this is the order of importance that we see. So we see this, what's new, we see these screenshots, all these nice big screenshots. We don't need to wait for them to load. They're all right there. And the reviews are down here, we can read if we want. Otherwise we have our the overall reviews, and then all the system information, all the app information here. So this is a really, really nice design. One last thing I want to point out here that I really enjoyed is we have the customer reviews are now put into two sections. So we can now see all versions or current version, and current version is default. I can't tell you how frustrating it was when you're reading the descriptions on an app and it's all for old versions. So all the customers are begging for this feature to be released, and in reality it's been released in the newer version, but you're reading older versions of reviews, and for some reason they made it to the top. And so this could be really frustrating, especially for developers, app developers. And so now that's been solved. We can read just reviews for the current version, or we can read them for all the versions. And so that's really nice. Otherwise, we got for more information here. This is the overall design of the new App Store. I think everyone's going to really love it, and we're really glad that Apple's decided to take the initiative to increase to increase the functionality of the App Store. I think what also we're going to see, this could very well carry over into other things such as videos, TV shows, and music.